Hello and welcome to Daily Reflection with Aneel Aranha. Today is the 13th of September 2020. We're going to reflect on Matthew 18:21 to 35. A long one, listen. Peter came and said to Jesus, "Lord, if another member of the church sins against me, how often should I forgive? As many as 7 times?" Jesus said to him, "Not 7 times, but I tell you 77 times. For this reason, the kingdom of heaven may be compared to a king who wished to settle accounts with his slaves. When he began the reckoning, one who owed him 10,000 talents was brought to him, and as he could not pay, his lord ordered him to be sold, along with his wife and children and all his possessions, and payment to be made. So the slave fell on his knees before him, saying, 'Have patience with me, and I will pay you everything.' And out of pity for him, the lord of that slave released him and forgave him the debt. But that same slave, as he went out, came upon one of his fellow slaves who owed him 100 denarii, and seizing him by the throat, he said, 'Pay what you owe.' Then his fellow slave fell down and pleaded with him, 'Have patience with me, and I will pay you.' But he refused. Then he went and threw him into prison until he would pay the debt. When his fellow slaves saw what had happened, they were greatly distressed, and they went and reported to their lord all that had taken place. Then his lord summoned him and said to him, 'You wicked slave, I forgave you all that debt because you pleaded with me. Should you not have had mercy on your fellow slave as I had mercy on you?' And in anger, his lord turned him over to be tortured until he would pay his entire debt. So my heavenly Father will also do to every one of you if you do not forgive your brother or sister from your heart." The Gospel of the Lord. Let me tell you a parable of my own today. It isn't original, but it's a really good one. There was a priest who was assigned to a new parish, and on Sunday morning, the congregation eagerly waited to hear him. To their delight, he gave them a very powerful homily on the wages of sin. It was unlike any they had heard before, and they eagerly looked forward to listening to him preach the following Sunday. To their disappointment, however, he preached the same homily. They figured it may have been for the benefit of those who hadn't heard him the previous Sunday. However, the next Sunday, he did the entire thing again. It was more than they could take, so they formed a committee, of course, and went to him. "What can I do for you, brothers?" he asked them, and they said, "We are a bit concerned that you keep preaching the same old sermon every Sunday. Our question is, do you have another sermon?" The pastor looked at them, smiled softly, and responded, "I do have another sermon, but you haven't obeyed the first one yet." Do you know why I told you this story? Of course you do. How many times have you heard about the need to forgive those who have hurt us? I'm betting at least a dozen times, more if you're the type who goes to prayer meetings and attends retreats. So after having heard about forgiveness so many times and the importance of it, have you forgiven those who have hurt you yet? You haven't, have you? You still say you can't forgive your offenders, don't you? Or won't forgive them. Why? What have they done to you that's so bad you can't forgive them? You won't forgive them. Have they taken you to a courtyard, stripped you naked, and then flogged you until the flesh tore from your body? Then did they take you to a dungeon and hammer a crown of thorns on your head until blood covered your face? Then did they take you to the gates of the city and give you a cross to carry up a hill while all around you people mocked you, spat at you, hurled abuse at you? And then when you reached the top of that hill, did they crucify you on the cross you carried and leave you in the hot afternoon sun to die? Tell me, what has anybody done to you that is so bad that you cannot forgive them? I am not making light of your wounds, but do remember that God has forgiven us for wounding him. It is a debt far huger than anything anybody owes us. And it cost his son every drop of his blood to pay the price. He did so willingly because he loves us so much. And he asks us for only one thing in return, that we forgive others as He has forgiven us. And if we cannot do this, we effectively reject our adoption as God's children and declare our preference to be children of the devil. Well, there is only torture we receive at the devil's hands, as we only know too well. And that surely cannot be what we want, no? So let us forgive those who have hurt us and live in the abundance of life that Christ promises we will. And maybe we will not have to hear the same old sermon again now. God bless you.